every time so you can see your own pretty face in there.
It is.
It's so pretty, dude. Come on now. Boy's smitten with you, dog. I tell you what.
Oh, I know.
Hey, everybody. What up, bitches?
Hi, Townies.
Put your mouth on the mic, near the mic, sorry, so I can cue in the camera.
Hi, Tiny.
That looks pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah.
Is it, we need to tilt it down a little bit?
That also is nice.
He's nice. And now bring
Sean, nice to see you.
a little bit more.
Okay.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Okay. So we have a lot of
Hey, Sean's back.
microphone on.
Pedro, welcome. How you doing? Yes, I do talk nicely about my wife. I will do it repeatedly. I can't help it. Nothing I can do about it. Brian Leach is back. John Bivens is back. Fabulous. Michael Moore, you two back. Look at all you love. All right, we're going to have a great conversation here. We're going to give it a couple of seconds for people to get back with us. I think this will be fun. Sean says, hey, can you point the mic more?
Yeah,
it's totally
of
pointed
course.
toward. No, that's like pointed right at her, dude.
Yeah, it is. Here's my problem is I would like to be a little further away from him, but that then
Why don't
the video
you
is a
position
little
yourself where you want?
I would like to do this,
Okay, let me adjust the camera.
if that works. But then we're sort of far apart.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll manage.
And Steve would love us to be very far
Yes,
apart. He would
Steve-
love me to be downstairs, actually.
We're working on it. Let's
We're trying.
change a goddamn subject. God damn it. Chris Grell says that might be a Bengals thing. I don't know what that means. You ready, baby?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check the numbers. Oh yeah, we get people pouring back. You guys are fucking fabulous. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you.
I'm
not gonna lie to you.
We love you guys so much.
Sean says, does the microphone mount not rotate? The microphones are literally, at this point, they are 97 degrees pointed in opposite directions at this point.
They do rotate. They do have parameters. And this, I believe, like I could turn it a little more this way, but then I get a, like I'm further away from it. So I'll try this.
That's fine.
We're trying
baby, that's fine.
a lot of this. But you're right. It's a huge,
Huge.
overlap.
It's
is
huge.
what's happening.
There we go. All right, now stop talking for a second. Let's see how much overlap we've got. Okay, not bad. You talk?
Hello, 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 hello.
That looks lovely. Steve, you're going to
Hi,
love this.
Tinies.
I'll tell you, you're going to love this. Fantastic. All right, you guys ready to get into it?
We are.
Okay, here we go. Is this the bombastic intro?
No.
That's here? Got it. Okay. Ready, baby?
I am.
People always say that everyone is the hero of their own story. And yes, that's fair. But do you know what it takes to be the hero of a Scott Sigler story? The challenges expected, the hard work required, the nuanced knowledge of fart jokes.
All right. I do know. And I want to get into it with you. But we're going to do it right after this quick break.
Fart jokes. Stay tuned. Hey, Kevin Mess in the house. All right, we'll be back in a second. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, are you coming to Dragon Con?
Oh, wait.
Must.
Ready? Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices fiction podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future Dark Overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment. And tonight, we're talking about what makes a compelling hero, and specifically, what makes a compelling Sigler hero.
A reminder, this is a bonus episode in the Scott Sigler Slices podcast feed. It's not part of any particular story. You don't have to listen to keep up on the tale we're telling right now, but we think you'll like this peek behind the storyteller curtain.
So you guys, let's get into it. This is such a fun couplet from last week's episode, which was what makes a compelling villain. What's interesting is last week in the episode right before this one, Scott talked a lot about villain slash antagonist. So we're going to specifically talk about what makes a Sigler hero and a Sigler protagonist while we talk about what makes a good hero of a story. Because, of course, as you guys all know, we come to fiction and we have to kind of come to fiction and understand how we are going to engage with that fiction. And often I'm going to read a description that I gleaned from the internet about why we love a hero.
You have been gleaning again, have you?
Sorry, I didn't
Yes.
tell you I've
Okay.
been gleaning. A hero, a compelling hero, is defined by a combination of admirable qualities, relatable flaws, and a strong sense of purpose, often involving selflessness and sacrifice. They are defined by their courage, integrity, and determination, but also by their vulnerability and capacity for empathy. Those are the ones that I want to talk about this hour. Ultimately, what makes a hero truly compelling is that their ability to inspire and motivate others and their journey of growth and self-discovery
Okay.
matches ours.
Okay.
That's the thing that drives a compelling hero these days.
Great. All right. So now we're going to talk about, I'm very modest and I'm also very shy. Very shy. I don't like to talk about my own work all that much.
That's okay.
Yeah, you think I can get through this?
Well, I'm going to ask, what do you think makes a compelling hero?
Well, we're going to talk about the heroes in my work, but I will do my best to communicate with the people, even though I don't like to talk about me. I don't like to talk about me at all. Well, let's take a look here. What makes
A compelling
a
hero.
compelling hero? I'd say, first of all, I will summarize by saying this. I'm a Marvel guy, not a DC guy, because Marvel heroes have a level of power within the constraints of the Marvelverse where they are not Ubermensch. They are not all powerful. And they have to deal with a lot of shit. Most of them are broke. They got family troubles. They don't know how they're going to change into their costume to go stop crime. On the other side, you've got the DC side, which is the most incredibly wealthy oligarch that has ever lived, a person who can shoot lasers out of his eyes and fly for no particular physical reason, other than that he grew up on a planet with a different color sun, and on and on and on. So what I think makes a good hero is more on the Marvel side of things, and that is no one is perfect, right?
This is so important.
Okay.
This part is so important for a hero. Is they can, if a hero is perfect, I feel like I am not relatable to them. I can't relate with them.
It's hard for me to relate. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who can really relate to Bruce Wayne being a billionaire and a playboy and a philanthropist, et cetera, et cetera. I can relate to him owning a giant mansion he inherited from his dad and a giant company he inherited from his family. I'm sure that's very common. I'm just not one of those people. Spider-Man, on the other hand, who is still living with his aunt and can't make enough money to buy an engagement ring for his smoking hot betrothed and is getting fired all the time. And also, when he's trying to do a good thing, gets punished for doing a good thing constantly. So what I think makes a good hero is identification. What makes a good hero is when you see people in fiction, in movies, in TV, working really hard to do the right thing, but doing the right thing with their corresponding power is difficult to do, and it comes at a price. If Peter Parker just fucking didn't give a shit, bank robbery, what do I care? They're insured. I don't give a fuck. He has no problem. It's only when Peter Parker tries to stop the bank robbery and protect people who are in danger from the bank robbers that he gets himself into trouble. It comes at a great personal cost. So what I think makes a great hero is being someone who's identifiable and someone that sort of gets what you guys go through every day. No good deed goes unpunished, and yet hopefully you're still trying to do good deeds anyway, because that is the right thing to do.
You have done a terrific moment there where you say I want to be able to relate, and every day I walk into my life like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm also ready to engage with what comes at me. And that's that moment that you just said about engaging with their life, but also just living through it and doing the best they can. And I always think that we talked about last week, the villain believes they're the hero of their own story. And I believe that's also true of the hero. They think they're doing the best thing. They think they're doing the right thing. And I love that sometimes the villain engages with me, but often the hero engages with me so that I can continue to follow the story and engage with the story.
Let me point out somebody in the chat room. By the way, if you're listening to this podcast, we do this live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can join us in the chat room, watch us live at facebook.com/Scott Sigler, twitch.tv/Scott Sigler, or youtube.com/Scott Sigler. And Stephen Bloomfield calls me out. He hoists me in my own petard. He hoists me in my own petard because he points out people can relate to Bruce Wayne's childhood trauma. A very good point that I completely whiffed on. But where Peter Parker has some difficulty, his parents on rise with his aunt and uncle, he still has a loving home. Bruce Wayne, the DC character, has witnessed the worst possible level of violence, watched his parents be murdered, and has tried to get through life without that parental influence. So it's not, that was me being an asshole. It's not just about money and wealth, etc. It's about every hero has something that a large number of people can identify with, and childhood trauma is something an enormous amount of kids have grown up with.
Yeah, and I don't think it was you being an asshole. I'm going to say that. I think sometimes it's hard to sort of see a life you didn't live. To that point, CD Space on Twitch, is that you, Chris Casey? If it is talking about Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man. And Robert Downey Jr. went through his own failure arc as a human being.
Okay.
And then he played Iron Man, who also went through his own failure arc. And Robert Downey Jr.'s personal experience, I think, helped him go through Iron Man's personal and Tony Stark's personal trajectory as a fictional character.
Yep. Couple comments from the chat room. Sorry, guys, we're getting off track here. Here's great comments. Would your hero think they are the hero? And that's a great point from Michael Moore in the chat room. We'll get back on topic in a second, or back on target in a second. But I think that's another thing in the world of fiction and entertainment is if someone with power considers themselves the hero, that is a character flaw within the context where you're not, or like Booster Gold from DC comes to mind, and various characters like, I'm the hero, I'm the Dudley Do-Right age is 100 years gone. So modern day fiction, say 1970 to 2025, the guy who shows up thinking like he's the man, or the chick who's like, I'm the hero, I will save the day, they're usually douchebags. They're usually douchebags, and like they may still be doing good, but you're like, I don't know about you. I don't know.
100% what Scott is saying. I'm not saying the hero of the story. I'm saying everyone who shows up and thinks they're the hero of the story are all Farquads. They're all Farquads, right?
Yeah,
They're all
Farquaad's
that,
perfect,
right?
yeah. Farquaad.
But if somebody thinks they're the hero of their own story, that I do think drives characterization. I think that drives the story
do you know
forward.
Why?
I don't.
I'll tell you why. Because the person who thinks they are literally within the context of the story in the milieu you're listening to, who thinks I am the hero, I will solve this, almost always that is exactly what the antagonist thinks. That's why the villain is the hero of their own story, because they believe they are the one who has to do the difficult work, and they're willing to do the difficult work. And that's what makes a great antagonist.
What's
so it's very interesting in that regard.
There is I just did this when you were like, do you know what it makes? And I was like, no, I don't know what makes a good hero. And I literally did performative things.
For you guys listening
shirt.
At home, she has hooked her thumbs under her collar
tank top.
and is like basically like tenting up her shirt, saying, look at me, look at me.
But you're 100% right. They're doing that because they think that's their job.
Yes.
And there's a certain point of every character where they have to be true to their self, and I think both are true.
Chris Grawl, author of Trigger Guard and Author's Guide to Firearms, makes a good point here. He says, the villain considers themselves the hero. Heroes don't think they are the hero. So that's basically a nutshell what we are saying. All right.
So, can I ask you another question?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's talk about your specific heroes, because your heroes, to me, are more complex than some other heroes. I know I might be biased, but I'm still going to ask the question. Let's talk about your heroes.
Okay.
I would like you to tell me, I'm going to ask several questions at once.
Okay.
And then I would like you to answer them. I'm happy to repeat. So the question I want to ask is how, I'm talking about his main characters. How heroic is Quentin Barnes? And how heroic versus flawed is Quentin Barnes? He doesn't feel like he needs to be perfect. Let's talk about those in succession.
Quentin Barnes is the primary point of view character in the Galactic Football League series. So he is a young, highly athletic, highly talented young man from a backwater culture that only has humans, and they're taught to hate all the other sentient alien races and most of the other human systems as well. So he, because of his talent at football and his drive to win, no matter what it takes, what he has to sacrifice, he winds up going from this backwater human-only system into the big wide universe where he has to be on a team with those same sentient aliens in order to win, which is his ultimate goal. His quest is to win a Galaxy Bowl trophy and be considered the best quarterback that has ever lived. So you're asking about that guy. Does that...
Yeah, but I'll ask it in succession now.
Okay.
So he just explained where Quentin is in The Rookie. He's a backwater guy from a backwater planet, all that stuff. In The Rookie specifically, how heroic is Quentin?
Okay. How heroic is Quentin in The Rookie specifically? He's not a hero, right? But again, you fall into that. You fall into what we talked about before, which is heroes don't think that they are heroes. The hero who thinks they are a hero is usually a villain or comic relief or something like that. Yes, Michael Moore in the chat room. Go Krakens book 7 is coming. Quentin is, in my opinion, in The Rookie, he has not yet discovered his true calling as a unifier, as a leader, as someone with deep, deep empathy who wants to meet people who are trying to do the best they can and help them get to where they are. When the rookie starts out, he is very selfish. He wants what he wants, and he expects everyone to fall in line behind him because he is the man. Quentin believes he's the man because when he's been playing football in this human-only system for the last 4 years, he dominates everyone. And if you want to win games, just do what he says. When he gets the higher level, which is the NFL equivalent of the GFL, he finds out everybody's just as good as he is. And his hero talent has to be, how do I get all of these guys to work together and get races who would kill each other on sight in any other context to fight and die for each other on the field? It's later in the series where he becomes a true hero.
And it's interesting that you say that, because one of the ways he becomes a real hero is that he understands that his understanding of non-human races as he grew up was limited. That's how he approaches it. He doesn't think it was wrong. He doesn't think it was narrow. He thinks it was too limited. And he's not wrong. That's what he does. He doesn't come at himself and say, oh, I was an asshole, which he might have been in The Rookie.
Oh, he
right?
does later in the series, but he
Right,
had some
but
hard
right-
lessons to learn.
Right. But the way he approaches those lessons in The Rookie is he's like, oh, okay, you have other things to say. I'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually comes to those with his own physicality, with his own understanding, with all of that. It's so lovely because he literally just comes to every conflict that he has with a...
Well, what makes him a good hero is Quentin comes to every conflict he has with, he would not ask anyone to do anything that he would not do.
Yeah. All I was going to say is he comes to every conflict with a, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's both work as hard. Like, he comes ready to work.
In the chat room, I think we have a new visitor, Hobzel, Hobbzle. Welcome, Hobzel. We're happy to have you. But yes, so in the GFL, what makes the reader willing to tolerate Quentin's ignorance, not necessarily assholishness. He is ignorant that other cultures have just as much merit and value as his own. What makes him tolerable through this intolerable process where he is just thinking everybody should do whatever he says is he will outwork you. He'll be the first in, last out to every practice. There is nothing he will ask you to do that he won't do himself. And he doesn't realize it. He's leading by example. So that is his saving character trait is you can bitch about this guy being a dick all you want, but he works harder than you. He's tougher than you, and he will take more pain than you. And there's nothing he won't do. And if you want to win championships, you better get with this guy and hang with him. That really makes him an acceptable anti-hero to start out with.
And I think part of that for me is because he is willing to say, I will do anything you're going to do. What are you going to do? And, you know, maybe his antagonist says, I just want to get to be able to play without my disabilities or whatever. When he comes, like when Tara the Freak comes to the pitch and has to do his job, Quentin doesn't judge without knowledge. And it's a very rare thing. I don't think it actually happens a lot on Earth, but it happened for Quentin. He was like, all right, how do we meet you where you are? And that is a beautiful thing because that happens. Quentin does that. And then Quentin needs that. And Quentin also does that for other people.
Okay.
So we do have to take a quick break.
Okay. Quick break. Maybe there's a commercial. Maybe there's not. We'll be right back after this. Did I get that right? I jumped on your line?
Fuck. But that's okay. Should
Sorry.
I?
Yeah, just snap in.
It is time for a quick break. If you have a minute, please listen to any ads that pop up. There's only one or two, and it really helps the show. And we'll be back right after this.
Great questions in the chat room. Perry Dossie is a very difficult one. I don't know if you have that addressed on here, but dude, I'm going over your bullet pointed questions. These are awesome, babe. Great job.
Thanks.
Great job.
Have a couple of, for me, I have a couple of secret ones before we snap back in to kind of.
You know, you're running the show. That was 15 minutes, right? 15?
16.
16? Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to try and do this. We'll keep going, but I'm having a ball. I'm so fucking glad you guys are here. I've had a very long day of work. It's super fun to get to hang out with all y'all. You're fucking great. Ready?
Oh, no, before you check back in. Mama, I saw you in the chat room. I love you. My mom is Mary Ann Radowski, and
Zippy.
she's in the chat room on
I would
Facebook.
like everyone to know I am Zippy's favorite son-in-law. Today. Favorite son-in-law today. Ready?
All right. 3, 2.
Welcome back to Deep Cuts.
This week, we're talking about what makes a compelling hero, and specifically, what makes a great Sigler hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's get back into it. So I do want to ask you, do you like... Sorry, I hit the microphone. I do want to ask you, do you like your heroes?
Yes, I do like my heroes. There's several of them because without the hero, there is no villain. And without a hero and a villain battling against each other, in my opinion, there is no story. Without conflict, character growth, change, further conflict building to a resolution, you don't have a story, you have a lecture. So I like Quentin Barnes a lot because I drew from my own athletic background for Quentin Barnes. Now, Quentin Barnes is a 7 foot tall, 380 pound, lights out athlete that can do everything great. Yes.
I do want to right here say, do you identify with Quentin? Because I think it matters.
I do from the perspective, when I was a tiny human in high school, wrestling at 126 pounds, we only got wrestling when I was a junior in high school. We never had a program before that. I'd found my calling sports-wise. You know, as a small guy, you can't compete in most sports, but combat sports with weight classes, you absolutely can. But I was the biggest asshole on the planet. When I was the team captain, you were going to work as hard as I could work, period, or you're going to get the fuck out of the room. And at the same time, I would not let anyone outwork me. So a lot of Quentin's assholishness was drawn from mine. And only looking back now, it was all done with the best of intentions, which is I wanted everyone on that wrestling team to, number one, be the best they possibly could. And number two, fucking contribute to the program. Show up, either be a starter and win at least half your matches, or if you're a backup, be ready to step in because people get hurt. And I'm not going to lie, I was a giant dick in that room. But even the guys who outweighed me by 80 pounds, I was like, no matter what you do, I will outwork you. So I identify with Quentin. Another hero in the GFL series, Federico Esteban Gacipa Gonzaga.
Before you move on to that, I do want to say we have a couple of things in the chat room. Jason says, biggest asshole. I'm so surprised that he identified as the biggest asshole. Yes, I agree on the Twitch chat room. Also, Cobalt on YouTube says, I've said it before, Scott, like no other author, has a gift of getting me emotionally invested in his characters. And that's why.
Lovely.
This is what he's doing. That is how he's doing that. And then I need to tell you, in our chat room on Facebook, Robert Tinarella is in
Tin
the
Man.
Facebook, who is a person who went to high school with Scott. And he says, you were the man, and you still are.
Tin Man, so good.
It's such a lovely thing.
Tin Man and I played football together, high school football together.
But that's the thing you're talking about. You, as a person who is trying to show up for your team, showed up, even if you showed up a little bit,
a little crass,
a little harsh around the edges. So I would love you to talk about Federico.
Federico Esteban Gonzaga is he's from the same culture as Quentin Barnes, which is this all human, all dark religion, controlled by religion. The entire system it's a very difficult place to be unless you are born into wealth, privilege, and family connections. Quentin and Federico both are not. Federico is a gay man in a culture where if they find out you're gay, you will be burned at the stake. So it's been very difficult for him to have a life where he's actually served his nation. He served in the military for the same nation that would kill him if they find out what his natural proclivities were. Where he becomes a really fun character is the first time he meets Quentin Barnes, he assumes Quentin Barnes is just another privileged jagoff who's going to judge him and dismiss him. And when he finds out that Quentin actually is the kind of person who measures you based on your personal worth, your value, and will you do what you said you will do, Federico becomes such a supporter of Quentin that Federico will literally risk his life to help Quentin achieve certain goals, because Quentin, while a dominant athlete, this massive human being who can do all these things, is not a soldier, has no training in physical combat, has no idea what he is doing, where Federico, who weighs 150 pounds less than this guy, maybe more, has killed a lot of people. So I really like that subtle undertone of Federico supporting this giant multimillionaire as we progress in the franchise, who is adored by the universe, and nobody knows who Federico is. Nobody cares about Federico, but Federico's like, I will support this guy because he was fucking good to me. And that's as far as it goes.
So this is one of my favorite things about Fred and Quentin. Quentin is physically more intimidating, wildly more intimidating, always. He's physically, he's power-wise, he's money-wise, he's a lot of things more obviously powerful than Quentin is.
Mm-hmm.
But every time he approaches Quentin as like, hey, you might need to know these things. These may not affect you. They probably will, but I have a plan. Right?
I will tell you.
Hang on, let me finish. So what I love about Federico is often how I walk into the world as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can give you everything I have. I can absolutely solve your problem. We've spent 2 decades with people saying, how do I get an A? And every time somebody emails me and says, how can I get an A? I tell them. But they don't actually engage with what I say. They engage with who they think I am.
Okay.
And that's a little different because how I tell them that is you have to be willing to go toe to toe with me or whoever your A is. And often what happens is they're like, no, 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 no. I want to do it my way. And Federico doesn't do that. He's like,
Correct.
do you
That's
want
a
my
good
help?
point.
Do you want me to help you? Yes, I will do that, but you have to do it my way. And it's a beautiful moment for him because he's not talking about his needs. He's talking about his service.
And a couple comments in the chat room have spurred me to this is what makes Federico Esteban Giuseppe Gonzaga or Fred. What makes Fred a character that I really like as a person, even though I invented him, is again, as the rookie series progresses, you've got Quentin Barnes, who is gifted with this giant physical preference. He is a genetic specimen and can do things that most of 99.9% of the universe can't do because of his size and his athleticism and the way he was born. And then Quentin is smart. Quentin works hard. Quentin winds up becoming this big famous person. And Federico is the one of the people in the galaxy who will call Quentin on his bullshit every time. And when Quentin desperately wants something to be true just because he wants it, Federico is the guy who will say like, no, bro, that is not the way it is. So Federico is why Federico is a great hero in the story is because he will tell truth to power. He will tell people the truth. And then, even though the truth fucking hurts, he will help them deal with that and move forward.
And this is what Scott did for me in my life. He reflected who I was. He showed me who I was. And he helped me be my best version of myself. And he does it all the time. And for me, it's stupid things like I am not good in the morning. Well, he supports me. He's like, all you got to do is get in the car and go to the gym. It's fine. He meets me exactly who I am because sometimes it's not about you always, no, all the time. It's not about you fronting that you're always in power. It's about being powerful, which sometimes is a different reflection in real life. I do have a question I want to ask before we close. I want to ask.
And I got to come back to the Perry Dawson question. That's a very good question. Ask your question, doll.
We can do that, but let me ask this because I think this will reflect. Are all villains evil?
No. It's all villains. No villains are. It takes a minute to get my head around this. There are some villains that literally want nothing more than to cause chaos, harm, and death, that want to punch down all of the time, and their existence and soul and happiness depends on people being subjugate to them. Those are straight up villains, right? Now, let me segue into this. If you have a hero of a story, let's say it's a rebellion story. Let's say there's a thing called the Force in the Empire, and you are fighting against the Empire. But part of that is being perfectly willing to gun down everyday cops, workaday soldiers, people who just happen to be dressed in white armor and trying to put food on the table for their families, trying to find a way out for their kids. So you're in the rebellion, but you shoot the fuck out of a bunch of stormtroopers and you don't think about them for a second. Is Luke a villain? Is Han Solo a villain? Is Obi-Wan Kenobi a villain in that context? Are the stormtroopers villains in that context? Oddly, the one movie that nailed the shit out of this was Austin Powers' The Spy Who Loved Me. Rob Lowe's character in Austin Powers, if you get it and watch the director's cut and the deleted scenes, it nails all of this. The villain the guy gets run over a steamroller, just trying to put food on the table for his family, bro. He's doing his thing. So that's a long-winded way of answering your question, which is, no, I don't think the villains are straight up villains, at least in my work. The villain, a good antagonist, is someone who believes they are morally right, who believes they are the hero, willing to endure all the slings and arrows that this corrupt society has to throw at them in order to make the world a better place, right? That is the biggest thing.
I absolutely love that you said the antagonist is looking at the worldview, because I firmly believe the only reason I engage with any fiction, movies, books, anything, is that I identify with somebody in that story.
Uh-huh.
Often it's the hero, often it's what is supposed to be the antagonist. Either way. But what has to happen is they have to look and smell and feel like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that means they have to be worrying about, is this the right answer? They have to be worried about, am I doing the right thing? They have to be thinking of all of that. And I love that you say it. I do have a couple of questions
Shoot.
from the chat room.
Hit me.
On Twitch, Jason says, what about Farm Girl? Is she a protagonist or an antagonist?
Farm Girl is a character in my novel called Earthcore, which is our biggest novel to date. It just continues to roll along. It's narrated by Ray Porter. If you're an Audible fan, and if you like listening to people tell stories, go get Earthcore right now on Audible. He's amazing. And the print book, not bad either. I'll say it's not bad at all. Big old thick print book, very good. Farm Girl is one of the antagonists in that story. She is an ex-NSA agent who's been excommunicated from the NSA. Let's just say because she tried a little bit too hard to do her job really, really good. And one of her jobs was acquiring information from people who did not want to give information. And in Farm Girl's mind, that involved torture, which she's exceptional at. And she doesn't worry about ages or genders. She's just going to get what her nation wants her to get. In this story, she's been kicked out of the NSA, and she brings her particular set of skills to bear for a multinational conglomerate mining corporation. And the question you asked is she a villain or is she a hero? It's a good question, right? Do I have that right?
It is. That is the question I asked, but I didn't tell you which perspective. So
Okay.
if you want to answer multiple times, that's great.
I will say for 100% in Farm Girl's mind, in Earthcore, she's 100% a hero. She's actually striving to be a hero. She feels there have been a bunch of, let's just call them libs, for lack of a better word, a bunch of libs in the administration of the NSA who did not see her skill set, not only her skill set, her patriotism, her willingness to do whatever it takes, her ability to do the job that other people won't do to benefit her nation in the long run. In her brain, she did everything right. She got punished for doing the right thing because no good deed goes unpublished. And now
Unpunished.
she's unpunished. She's looking for a way to get back into the good graces because all she wants to do is serve her country. That's all she wants.
Okay. And yet, is Farm Girl a hero?
The cornerstone of my work is I realize, I say this all the time, I realize the men who flew planes into the World Trade Center, without a doubt, in their deepest heart and in their soul, they believed they were the heroes. They believed they were fighting against a corrupt, all-powerful entity, and they're willing to give their own lives in service of trying to topple this, what they thought was an evil entity. They were, depending on the point of view of your story, they were heroes. So, were they villains? I believe they were. They killed 4,000 people. But, that depends on your point of view. Were the guys who dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki villains? They killed hundreds of thousands of people. Or were they heroes because that action brought that war to a close and all told saved a larger number of lives theoretically? They saved a lot of lives on the U.S. side, cost a lot of lives on the Japanese, the Axis side. Who is the hero? Who is the villain in those two particular situations? So the cornerstone of my work is simply, I am presenting situations like that in a fictional context. And my job is to make the reader wonder, wait a minute, who am I supposed to root for? That if you're reading Farm Girl and you think for a second like, yeah, but should I not like her? She's working so hard. Then I have done my job correctly.
May I have the mouse?
Of course, Tom.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break while I block this person.
Oh, thanks, son. Be careful. Don't accidentally block shit. I block it. So, two. So that is pretty much what I try to do with work. And the biggest inspiration for this, surprisingly, this may surprise you, is the Battlestar Galactica reboot with the Cylons, with the Galactica. I remember watching that show, even though I was well into my professional career as a creator at this point, watching the show, and there were several points of the show like, I'm not sure who I want to win. And I'm a human, and you would think we want the human race to continue, but the creators of the show and the writers did such a good job. When you get to a difficult point and you're not quite sure who you want to come out of it, that's when you've done a good job as a creator, in my opinion.
We are probably almost done. Do you want a rapid fire yes or no round where you tell me if people are
sure do.
villains? Okay, great.
Wait. CD Spaces. Who's that again?
That's Jason Brown.
Jason, I believe it's Jason Anspach, the author. I might have his name wrong. Who's written some Warhammer books. I've read his work, not a lot of other Warhammer books. But go ahead. Okay, no, go ahead.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of rapid fire.
Hit me. Let's go.
Yes or no answers. That's all you have before we end. It's gonna be yes or no. I got 5.
If I wasn't married to you, I wouldn't do it. But let's go for it.
Are these people heroes? G.I. Jane,
Yes.
Sarah Connor,
Yes.
Ripley,
Yes.
John McClane.
Yes. Fucking of course.
Yes.
Of course.
That is it for
That's
this
all I had?
episode of Deep Cuts.
Those were so easy. Those were so easy.
All of those people
All
are
right.
flawed.
You know what?
And all of those people
Let me bounce
are still
Let me
heroes.
bounce a couple back at you. Macbeth.
No.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
No.
Lord Palpatine.
No.
What are you talking about, dog?
They're not heroes. They're invested in their own success. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Macbeth, not a hero because he was very flawed.
Okay.
Lady Macbeth, not a hero because
All
she
right.
was insane.
All right. Let me get this one. Ready? Yosemite Sam. It's legal hunting season. He's got a permit. He can fucking shoot rabbits anytime he wants.
Wait, are you talking about Elmer Fudd?
No, Yosemite Sam.
He doesn't get a permit.
Wait, do I have Elmer Fudd confused with somebody else?
Well, you have Elmer Fudd. He's going
Who's
hunting
Yosemite
in rabbit
Sam?
season.
Who's it? Wait, I'm
Yosemite
confused.
Sam.
Sorry, guys.
I
Scotch.
think you're talking about Elmer.
Elmer Fudd. Who's
Is a
Yosemite
hero.
Sam? Why am I drawing a blank? What's going on?
He shoots at the ground at his own feet. He's a drunk asshole.
Who is Yosemite Sam?
He's
Oh, yeah, he's just the gunslinger. Yes. Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd is
You know what? This is why you shouldn't do shows with your spouse. She's talking about Yosemite Sam. I clearly said fucking Elmer Fudd, who is just trying to put some food on the table, bro. He's trying to put some food on the goddamn table. Is he a hero guy? Answer the question, counselor. Answer the question.
I'm engaging in your gaslighting and saying, yes, he's a hero. He's just trying to put his food on the table.
Oh, all right. Okay, now one last one for you. Ready? Dexter.
Oh.
Is Dexter
you
a
mean
hero?
Dexter, the serial killer?
Dexter, the serial killer. Is Dexter a hero?
1,000%. He is my perfect hero. He's
a
perfect
murderer.
hero. Yeah, of course. All of
He's
us are
an extrajudicial murderer.
How dare you? And listen, all of us are flawed human beings.
Oh, okay, back to better. Yeah, go ahead.
All of us are flawed human beings. And the question is, can you be heroic in your own construct? And I believe Dexter is heroic in his own construct. Yes, he kills people, but I don't give a shit about the rules. I don't give a shit
Because
about
he
the laws.
serves the greater good.
I give a shit about the good.
The
right?
net result is more people
Right.
are alive than if he didn't kill the people he killed.
So here's where we're going to end this. David Lamb on YouTube asks, is Perry Dawsey an anti-hero? Would you like to answer or would you like me to answer?
No, I'll answer. Fuck, I wrote the goddamn book. Let me answer this. Is Perry Dawsey an anti-hero? Yes. Is an anti-hero a hero? depends on the context of the story. Lincoln Frank's Slay is an anti-hero because he will kill the monsters, he will save lives if you pay him enough money to go do that work. In The Professional, the movie, is he a hero? He gets paid to murder people, yet he turns out to be the hero. So is Perry Dawsey an anti-hero? I honestly think that Perry Dawsey, who is the lead character in the Infected trilogy, which is 3 books, Infected, Contagious, and Pandemic, they're very, very, very dark, very, very brutal. I think Perry Dawsey's absolutely, without qualification, a hero because he will do whatever the fuck it takes to survive. The reason Perry Dawsey's a hero to me, Scott Sigler, is there is no quit in Perry Dawsey. He is a athletic background football player who, like Quentin Barnes, has shown whatever the fuck it takes. Whatever, he's like Ray Lewis. Whatever it takes, he's going to do whatever it takes to win that game. And that set of skills he's learned and his toughness from his unfortunate Bruce Wayne background leads him to massive success, and then leads him to the ability to survive some shit that kills a lot of other people within the Infected trilogy context. So in my opinion, 100% a hero because he does what other people do not have the capacity or the will to do.
And I think this is where we end tonight. I think heroes and villains, but absolutely heroes, need to have a discussion with themselves and figure out what they can tolerate and what they will accept and what they will do. We've seen heroes 1,000 times slay innocents, take heads, all the things. We've seen that in 1,000 movies, 1,000 books, all the things. Heroes aren't necessarily sinless for the purposes of what a sin means, but they are heroic. So I agree with you. I think that Perry is absolutely a flawed hero because I think every single human being who considers heroicness is a flawed hero of their own story.
Dawn Shipley in the chat room. I think I'm the villain of my own story.
That works
Dawn,
too, baby.
you are not alone in that thought. Most of us, some of us believe we could be so much more if we would just get out of our own fucking way and stop shitting on ourselves and just be try a little harder, a little more focused. And some people attribute the things they haven't achieved to their own shortcomings, which is a good fucking trait. At the end of the day, if you accept responsibility for where you are and be like, I got to figure out how to get around this, optimally, that's a good mindset. At the same time, there are some shit that you can't deal with. No matter how much I love football, at 160 pounds, will never play in the NFL. That's never going to happen. When I did play football seriously, I was 122 pounds. There was no future for me in that regard. I could beat myself all day long and say, it was my fault. I didn't work hard enough. I wasn't strong enough. Fuck you. I worked my ass off. So it's a combo, right? There are things where you shortchange yourself, but then there are things you just don't have the set of opportunities in order to be who you think you should be. And there's a middle ground. You got to kind of find a middle ground in all that business.
And I will say, if you can call yourself the villain of your own story, you can call yourself the hero of your own story. You already did the thing. You're the villain of your own story. Great. Code switch and be the hero of your own story because it's all about what you tell yourself. And we can do both. So we're going to do both, but we're probably done for right now.
We're gonna talk to the chat room after this, after we sign off. Some good questions in the chat room we're gonna talk about after the fact. But that is it for this episode of Deep Cuts.
Next week, we will give you the rundown on Scott's DragonCon appearance and schedule.
And that is the 2025 DragonCon in Atlanta. You can email info@emptyset.com if you have any ideas for deep cut shows or things you want to hear a couple of creators talk about. Until then, you all smell an awful lot like flowers. Goodbye. Okay.
Stay.
Real
you
talk.
guys.
Real talk. Let's get into Cobalt says Shimp, Blazing Show, Ancient Gaming Doom.
Wait,
Ancient Gaming I
let me
haven't
do
seen
one
before.
thing. There's somebody who
Everybody
wanted,
stay the fuck online. There's some questions here I want to talk about.
for sure, but somebody wanted to see. I flashed my wedding rings, and they wanted to see yours too.
See if you can put it a little. Dude. We can do a whole fucking, literally a whole episode of my goddamn wedding ring. Okay,
That's fine. If you
hold
want
on.
to switch to
I
yours and show yours.
Love my
Somebody.
fucking wedding ring. Well, this isn't working now. Okay,
Okay.
hold on, just a second. Base. We're gonna do this right here.
Oh, there you go.
You guys, my wife sourced this ring. There it is. It is the most fucking balls out, testosterone stoked, manly ring you could ever fucking find in your fucking life. Number one, the outside part, that is Damascus fucking steel. That is literally the steel from which the strongest swords and weapons were fucking forged. It's got like fucking layers and wrinkles in it and texture. It's so fucking sick dope. And the middle part, you fucking bitches. The middle part is a goddamn meteor. It's
Meteorite.
a goddamn, don't fuck with me. It's a goddamn meteor. Wait, is there a difference?
Yeah. Meteorite hits the earth.
It's a goddamn meteorite. This is shit that came from space. It's as old as the fucking universe. And it fucking landed on our planet and somebody harvested that shit. And fucking, that is my wedding ring. So in a nutshell, my wedding ring is very romantic for the kind of person that I am. I love it very much. All right, let's get over to talk about, let's go. Hold on, shit, give me the mouse. Goddamn.
Okay.
This is why we should, you know what? Actually, as a left-hander, we should switch sides again.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay. So back over here. I want to talk about this a little bit because there are some people that I love in the chat room. When we brought up the discussion of you are your own villain or you are a villain in your own life. 100%. This gorgeous angel on my right, like literally half of her day is trying to bring me back to center. I'm like, I only got this much done. I should have done this. I should have done this. And I'm fucking angry and I'm pissed because I'm wired that way. And A's job is largely to be like, bro, let's write down the shit you got done today.
Yeah,
Also,
life is hard.
You had these other things going on, family issues, etc. Like basically, in a nutshell, what she says in a far more intelligent and erudite way is like, chill your goddamn tits and be fucking realistic, you idiot. That's her romance language, to say that in a nice way.
Yeah, who cares? Just be yourself.
So
What we all want is
everybody
for
in the
you to
chat
be
room,
yourself.
You guys, I can see a lot of you right now sort of realize that you are your own antagonist. And what I want to say is, of course you are. Because if human beings were satisfied with what they had and what they had been given in front of them, we would have never advanced past bone tools and caves and hunter-gatherer societies. It is wired into our DNA to be dissatisfied with who we are, what we have, and what we can be. So being fucking miserable and angry, sorry to tell you, that is wired into you as a human being. If you accept this and know that when you have these shitty feelings about yourself, it's good to have those shitty feelings to some extent. What I try and tell people when I coach them on writing is the writing process is full of anger, self-hatred, and endless frustration. But don't get mad about being mad. Don't beat yourself up that you're mad that you can't make the thing that you want, because in the forge of that anger, you will hammer out sharper and better Damascus steel every time. It's okay to shit on yourself to some degree. But if the middle ground is, and Floor shares after this, the middle ground is, you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. I will never play in the NFL. There is no one in this world who loves football more than me. My first memory in my life was watching 60mm football film. I was born to be a footballer, except for the whole born size-wise thing. It's never going to fucking happen. There are societal, economic, genetic predispositions, psychological predispositions that you're born with that you can modify, but you can't fix everything. So yes, be mad, but be mad in context.
I love that you said, I'm going to be done after this because you said the perfect thing. I'm going to take one chat room comment from YouTube from my good friend Joshua. Joshua says, I will never be an Uber driver. He just dropped that in the chat room. But I want to share with you that my dear friend Joshua is also blind. So he absolutely engaged with the character he is, the human he is, and said, I will never be an Uber driver. That will never be part of my story. And that is the thing I want to add on to what Scott said. There are things. He loves football. He loved football with every fiber of his being his entire life, and he will never be a footballer because his physical limitations mean he's this size and he's this shape and he's this mind and all that, and that's not his job, right?
Sadly, it's not my fucking job.
Of course, right? Of course. That said, it's absolutely okay to hate that Scott can't, for Scott to hate that he can't be a footballer and then still to do good things in the universe. My brother, can you scroll down just a tiny bit there? My brother, Jude Stenson, is in the chat room on YouTube, and he said, reasonable people adapt themselves to the world. Unreasonable people adapt the world to themselves. And that's absolutely what we're
expect
doing.
the world to adapt themselves.
Yeah, they want that, and they don't have that. But you wanting all of that and still striving is, we all do that. And that is how, if you can not expect the world to bend to you, you try new things, you meet new people, you get new experiences, you grow as a person, which will save your life as you get older. These are the things that keep you human. And these are the things that I think we have become, especially as Americans, sometimes become afraid to try new things. But that is the root of absolutely everything on earth. You have to accept who you are and go from there.
Chris Grawl in the chat room says, harness your anger. And why this is an important phrase is, if you feel anger and frustration and you shit on yourself, there is a genetic and societal component to you that you have no choice over. The shit I get angry about in my fucking dream life, with the love of my life, where I've been writing professionally for 20 years, which is supposedly, that's all I ever wanted, was to write professionally. If I could just be a professional author, I would be so happy, is a bunch of fucking bunk and bullshit. Anger is good. Anger is great. Anger channels you to work harder, to figure out new ways to do the things, new ways to solve the problems that present themselves in your life. And when you solve those problems, because you are a human being, you now find new problems to be angry about. Being content and satisfied in life is a pipe dream that some can achieve, and that's great. But when you are content and satisfied, you have attained a level of stasis, and you are not doing anything to reinvent yourself or improve your society, your family, your culture, etc. So I think that, again, I go back to this core phrase. Now I want you to listen to this shit. Don't get mad about being mad. If you're mad, that's fucking okay. It's okay to be fucking angry. It's okay to want more, to strive for more, but you can't get mad at yourself for not being happy where you are. If you're a person who's happy where you are, you're fucking happy, and you don't have these thoughts. You don't have these thoughts because the worst possible existence right now is better than 90% of the lives that existed 200 years ago. It's insane how far we've progressed as a species. So yes, get mad, get frustrated, go to work, figure out how to fix your things, go after the things that piss you off, make your life better. But no, when you get there, you're still going to be a little bit mad. You're still going to be mad. It's okay.
And I will add one more thing, and then Scott will have the final word. I will say, be mad all you like. And especially if you're being mad at things that suck, right? Like you're not taller, you're not faster, you don't have a different brain, whatever. All those things, they're going to suck your entire life. But what I will add to what Scott said is, yeah, be mad, be angry, get angry, all that stuff. Have every emotion, though. Don't just be angry. When you
That's
are
a good point.
just
Good point.
angry, when all you are is how dare people not recognize that I am doing the thing. Be all the emotions. Be happy, be silly, be angry, be maudlin, be frustrated, be petty, be all the emotions. Have every emotion, because if you don't allow yourself to have every emotion and you do allow yourself to have anger, you may get wildly overly angry. But you can have every emotion and everyone will do better with that, including you.
It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be pissed off. It's okay to be pissed
all
off
the
at
things.
yourself. It's okay to be pissed off at the socioeconomic structure that has you where you are. All of these things are okay because anger is good. Anger is a good
All emotions are good.
thing.
Yeah.
All emotions are good.
All emotions are good.
Frustration, sadness, embrace
Every
all of this shit.
emotion is good.
And when you feel those emotions, and like I'm a dude from the Midwest. We don't fucking talk about jack shit. When I see people on TikTok and Instagram, like, I feel so sad today because this thing happened. I'm like, why are you speaking your emotions into the world? Just
And
fucking
I'm
go
like,
to work.
Oh, Tiny.
What?
Let's talk
What?
about it.
Yeah. So there's a middle ground in all of this, but you're still here, number one. So you have dodged the genetic bullet of dying from shit you had zero control over. Kudos. Congratulations. You're here. You're alive, which means you can impact your future to some degree. You cannot
already did it.
change everything. You cannot suddenly become a Kardashian or whatever the fuck. But you can get a little bit better, work a little bit harder, and also be a little bit fucking nicer to yourself.
And, you know, if you have to put on a game face at your job and eat shit and be like, oh, yes, I'll get those TPS reports to you by Saturday, go home and be shitty and angry. That's okay. You can be a messy human being.
Yeah.
We need messy human beings. We want messy human beings.
Jennifer
we
Hathorn,
also want messy human beings who appreciate other human beings.
And there's different takes on it. Like Jen Hathorn, who is in the chat room, says she totally speaks her emotions in the world. Scott, LOL. She and I are so different in how we approach difficulties. Jen's like, I'm just going to TikTok this shit and tell everybody how I feel. And that works for her. And I am largely like, I'm going to work an extra 4 hours and then also go to the gym and also yell at myself because I wasn't at the gym for those 4 hours. So I put myself in a situation where I can't win. I can work hard, which I want to do. Spend time with my wife, my dogs, which I want to do. Go work on my physical body and be better and healthier, which I want to do. And be around for my family more, which I want to do. In my brain, you cannot do all of these things at once. So I'm frustrated, even if I'm being a good person, even if I'm working hard, even if I'm making myself better, and even if I'm doing everything I can to take care of you, the readers who buy my stuff and spend time with me. I put myself in a no-win situation 24/7. So, but I do it quietly in my own brain.
So we're going to get off this live stream, but I do want to say that one of the other things that Scott does is loves Jen's content. He watches.
She does what I can't do. I can't do what she
Right.
does.
So both things are needed. Scott being stoic and not doing it, and Jen being out there and vulnerable helps. We need a rising tide raises all ships, you guys. And in the tide of humanity, we need every version of that. And sometimes we have to do that with each other and be kind to each other.
Well, a society like a football team requires people who are good at different things because other people are not as good at those things. So when you combine as a group, the group is stronger than the individual always, without fail, unless you're a psycho killer who eats your victims. You need to operate solo. Outside of that, it's all about you take your strengths, embrace your strengths, and then accept and lean on people who are much better at you than other things, which is germane to like, Jen.
Yeah.
Jen can do things I can't do, and I assume I can do things Jen can't do. It's just the way it is. That's how it goes.
We like, and it's so hard sometimes when you are feeling vulnerable to think, oh, can I learn from someone else? Can I accept help from someone else? Can I gain from someone else? Because I'm not gainable. I'm not even pulling my own weight. But that's how society actually works. We support each other. Whether or not you feel like you deserve to be supported, you do. Because a society succeeds when the society succeeds. And that's always going to be the case.
I will close this with Steve Bloomfield says, "You'll be surprised how many people want to join me for dinner."
Also, Stephen Bloomfield asked where you got your Jonesy shirt, and
It was a gift.
T Public from my best friend Maria and Stephen, the Nostromo Jonesy cat. So it was T Public. It might still be
I don't
there.
even fucking like cats, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you,
But you
it's a
do
good
love
shirt
that.
because it's orange and black. It's also aliens. It's a very subtle, deep shit. Recluse Mage, great pep talk. We didn't mean to have a pep talk. All we mean to say is like, it's not really a pep talk. I'll say we're gonna go. It's not a pep talk to say, yes, be fucking angry and frustrated and all that shit and just fucking like, fuck you all. That's okay. That's a good thing. But you
Just
also
show up.
You also give yourself some flowers every now and then.
Yeah,
Buy yourself
just
some
show up.
goddamn chocolate. Sit the fuck down and watch The Boys. It's okay. You can do both.
Even if you're mad and showing up, you're still showing up. And that's the essential thing. Show the fuck up. Show up mad, show up angry. Somebody will meet you where you are, hopefully. That's what I always think. I'm always going to try and think, I don't know what you went through today. I'm just going to try and meet you where you are.
And
So,
I want to shoot everyone in the fucking neck. So, it's a combo. It's a Venn diagram.
So
She's like,
he's gonna
I
go
love
play
you.
some
You're great. I'm
Fortnite
like,
and shoot
fucking,
people in
I'm
the
a
neck.
pop. I'm a pop a cat. I'm a two-time you. Fucking Mozambique technique. Pop, pop, pop. Fucking be done.
And I make bread and leave it on our front steps so people can just take it.
What the fuck is it? I gotta work on this controller. Let's go back to base. Switch, we're over here now.
We love you. We're grateful for you.
Oh,
We're so
there we
glad
go.
you're still here with us.
Now we're
And
on
we'll
what I
see you
call
next week.
the money cam. That's right. Now
Steven,
I'm in front.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, you guys are great. We'll see you next week. Fabulous. Anything else? Come on.